BlueprintForGlobalEnslavement.com, the online video bookstore. And I want you to get my film, Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, to understand who the eugenicists are, who the globalists are, what their master plan is. And the new documentary by Dr. Michael Coffman. And he's got a great host as well hosting the film. This will deprogram your neighbors, your friends, and family. This is a life and death situation. See, the socialists, the communists, the fascists, the command and controllers, the collectivists, they always need a new fraud, a new scam. And it's always how they're saving the world, and that's what they're doing. But when you get to the bottom line, this is the news from the last week of eugenics. Chinese babies sold for adoption. If you have more than one child and can't pay the fine, the Chinese government comes and takes your child and sells it to the United States. That's BBC. BBC. Now, this is what Obama's chief of science has said. He said, have CPS take everybody's kids, basically. Everybody gets a government visit to see if you can keep your kids. Chinese baby girls sold for adoption. Having large families is an eco-crime. Times of London. Children bad for planet. News of Australia. Judge arranges sterilization as part of Charleston woman's probation. 2 children should be limited, says Green Guru. Study finds high fructose corn syrup contains mercury. They do that on purpose. Washington Post. Infertility linked to common household chemicals. Rockefeller Foundation proof where they admit they fund all the eugenics. Thought I'd show you that. Baby tax needed to save planet, claims experts. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 7 stacks here. I'll never even get through half of one of these. Oz TV advises CO2 emitting children die early. This is also the ABC News article where they told kids killing themselves is good. And then shows pools of blood saying animals die if you don't die. This is sick, sick, sick. Remember Al Gore a few months ago telling kids their parents are stupid, don't believe them, global warming's real? Here's Pelosi. Every aspect of our lives must be subject to an inventory under green taxes. Texas unknowingly donate children's blood to research. Austin American Statesman. That's for the eugenics genome. Kidnappers swoop on China's girls. Obama's first act. Taxpayer money to fund abortions of black babies. If you don't like killing blacks, you don't like blacks. The globalists are... Here's one where the globalists are happy there's more abortions now that the economy's imploding. Here's where they knowingly put HIV in the blood. I'm sorry, Dr. Coffman, I'm ranting here. I mean, here's Justice Ginsburg says she originally thought Roe v. Wade was designed to limit populations that we didn't want to have too many of. Oh, how liberal to kill the blacks. I mean, why is Margaret Sanger worshipped if she said blacks were subhuman? Dr. Coffman?
It's a very good question. Why does the public seem to put on pedestals those scientists who are lying through their teeth, those nutcases like Singer who have made all these proclamations in the past? I'm not talking about Fred Singer, the climate scientist. I'm talking about what's her first
Margaret
name?
Sanger, yeah.
Margaret Singer, yes, who has made all these predictions and has done everything she can to bring to fruition eugenics and all the rest of these. It's just like there is, and I think this is really true, there is a great delusion. You know, the Bible talks about the great delusion. This isn't it. But we're seeing evidence that the whole world can be deluded to a major extent by what we're seeing right now. I mean, I have never witnessed anything like it in my lifetime.
Well, we have offshore banks that have stolen $14.8 trillion, according to Bloomberg, who engineered the crisis. Now they want another banker bailout that gives them power over the whole economy.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely.
But the public's concerned about Michael Jackson being dead. Dr. Coffman, 1 minute break. I know you've got to leave, but I want to do 5 more minutes with you to cover a few final topics and talk about the video on the other side. Then we've got a guest coming on the show just for a segment or two. The police say he's not allowed to have an American flag upside down. They think it's unpatriotic because they're as dumb as a 2x4. It's our final segment with Dr. Michael Coffman. The entire planet's being issued through international treaty. It's ID cards under biometrics. That'll be the new world currency. It will just be a cashless system. Here's the Times of London. India issues all 1.2 billion citizens with biometric ID cards. And they say, hey, we've got lots of health care, lots of government help. Just buy and sell with this card. And then now they can micromanage society. Now the social planners can control things. That's what the environmental movement admits they're about, cutting off resources to force the destruction of growth, then to implode society, to make you become domesticated. Dr. Michael Coffman, I wanted to continue to talk about the film Global Warming, Emerging Science and Understanding here in this final segment. We're carrying this and your other documentary, Global Warming or Global Governance. Everyone needs to see this. Just because our listeners may know all about this, their friends, their family, other school teachers, people don't know. And so we need to reach out and educate the public. Even if they pass these global carbon taxes, we've got to fight it and expose it so we can repeal it. Dr. Coffman.
Absolutely, there is no question about that. And one of the reasons we did this second DVD was to bring brand new information into the debate, as well as format it in a way that you can give to your friends and neighbors in a very easy-to-understand format. You can give it to your school science teachers. It's designed for school classroom showing to combat Al Gore's inconvenient truth. It's designed to share with other people. You can make copies of it to share, not to sell it, but to make copies to give to your friends and neighbors and to your school teachers and so forth, to try to spread this word, because once they see this, and it's extremely well done, folks, this is order of magnitude better than my first documentary, and it is very conclusive. I have gotten nothing but rave reviews from a variety of sources, including kids down to about 10 years old. So it is really a dynamic video that just takes the starch right out of the need for even having cap-and-trade legislation.
Absolutely. Let me just ask you a side issue. What feedback have you gotten now 2 years into Endgame being out? Because Endgame is I think, my best film, my most important film. Obama Deception is my biggest film because it shatters the left-right paradigm and shows his real agenda, and it covers some eugenics. But what feedback have you gotten being in Endgame?
Very heavy feedback, Alex, from a lot of people calling to find out exactly, because, I'm only on there for maybe 5 minutes totally, finding out my view on what the whole DVD is about. And again, I'm not an expert on eugenics, so I have to say basically I know about as much as you do on that issue. But nonetheless, people are very interested in it. When I say that it's actually worse than what you portrayed on that, but we can't really say that is bad enough what we say on that DVD. We need to understand it and believe it, and people walk away with their head. I get interrupted on the streets. People who know me and have seen Endgame and so forth and ask me questions. It's been an extremely effective DVD.
Well, we need to make your new film as prolific as Endgame. Global Warming, Emerging Science and Understanding, available at Infowars.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. Well, I'm going to be really hammering the eugenics issue, the global carbon tax issue, as we try to defeat what's happening in the Senate. It looks like we may be able to stop it because they were able to hide the bill, 300 pages of it, until it passed. Now, though, it is public, and I think it may get beaten, but they're not going to stop there. So we're definitely in a serious fight.
Yes, we definitely are, and we need to keep the fight up, not only with global warming, that's where I'm focusing right now, my efforts, because you can only do one thing at a time. But this water issue is a crisis, the health care issue is a crisis, all of these things, we need to be active and just call in your senators and congressmen and say, no, we're not going to vote for that. If you do, I'm going to do everything I can to see that you're not elected again. And I think I would really encourage some state where they really have an ability to get in there and recall some of their senators and congressmen when they vote for this garbage without even reading it.
Well, I agree. That ties into the eugenics, the government-run health care. They want to carry their eugenics out against us, including forced abortions, as the White House chief says, science chief. Dr. Coffman, great having you with us.
Thank you for having me back.
We'll talk to you again soon.